Just taking a moment to take a beautiful deep breath in together, beautiful women from across the globe. Perhaps the longest, deepest breath you've taken all day. And for us who are tuning in from the Southern Hemisphere, it being morning as I'm listening to the rain falling and making her presence known outside of my door. And for those in the Northern Hemisphere who are moving into their evening, a huge welcome. It feels like a very timely moment, a very timely, potent, powerful moment for us to gather together as women, for us to gather with our gentleness, with our love, with a power that is coming from a new source as we share our hearts and voices in our willingness to say yes to a new way of dreaming, a place which is inspired from a new well. And knowing that this new dreaming comes from us coming together in co-creation, coming together in the willingness to share our individual gifts and creating a tapestry of wonder, a tapestry that has never been seen before. So just before I pass on to my beautiful sister, friend, co-creator, love, Grace, again, I want to welcome you. Aurora Pagonis tuning in from Australia on the East Coast today. Standing for you as women, standing for you in your glory, and knowing that it's time now to really reclaim all of who we are.
Yeah, thank you, sweet Aurora. You know, Aurora and I met through the Ambassador Academy with Barbara Marx Hubbard several years ago. And, you know, neither one of us really understood. We just knew our sacred yes. We were, you know, feeling into the what's next. And I know that each one of you, as I know many of you on this, in this sacred circle today, are looking for that new way of saying yes to your soul and your soul's calling. And so when Aurora and I met, it was a connection of the heart. And she's been doing the same work as I have for the last several decades. So I'm on the Northern Hemisphere, she's on the Southern Hemisphere, and we feel like we have this little like global dance going on. And so it's been an honor to be able to serve and support We the World and the Women's Campaign with our sacred conversations over the course of the last year or more. And so when they asked us to present something on 2/22/2022, which as the energy field of numerology would be all about partnerships. So co-creation, and this is a new way of dreaming, and it is about the divine feminine. So I want to welcome all of you, and Aurora is going to kind of share with us, with all of us, how we're going to play today. So yeah, welcome.
I'd love, as we're starting to lean into our time together, if you would just kindly just pop your name in the chat, your name, which country you've come in from or which place, and just maybe one sentence or a word of why you've turned up here today. Because I know that there's a yearning in your heart for either a completion of something or a longing for something new. And today is a conversation really about women empowering one another and knowing that it starts from ourselves, it starts from within. So in a moment, we're going to be just dropping into a little centering exercise so we can really tune in a little more deeply into our heart space, knowing that this is one of the clues of how we are going to continue to dream the new dream. Grace and I will then have a little conversation between us about the new dreaming. And we will also speak to you a little bit around why we believe she leads the way and she leads the way forward. And then we'll be inviting a conversation with each of you to participate in whichever way you choose, whether through the chat or if you'd like to share your voices. We'll have an hour together in total. And really the invitation here is for us to really use this time to be nourished. As I was preparing myself on the inner this morning, I was reminded of a beautiful quote by a woman who was a sacred activist called Maya Angelou. And she said, I'm just going to read this out here so I get it right. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And so in our time together, the invitation just to open and relax without really needing to do a thing, and really inviting whatever feeling space is here to know that it is completely welcome, because this too is a doorway forward. So I'm going to invite beautiful Grace to get us started with a centering exercise. I'm just going to have a quick look at, we've got Kay from Lake Macquarie, Mullumbimby, Australia. And we've got New Zealand and Big Bear Lake, California, Sydney, Australia, beautiful Chicago. Gorgeous to have you all here. Over to you, dear Grace.
And I love seeing all of the things that are calling them forth to join in this sacred conversation, because it really is a sacred conversation with the soul. And your soul called you here. And so, so just as we get to feel into all of the different reasons that women have been called here, there's really just one reason, and that is co-creation and community and coming together at the heart. So I invite you to just in this moment, close your physical eyes and invite your real eyes to put your whole focus. You're playing the hokey pokey and put your whole self into your heart in this moment. And if it feels right to put your hand on your heart, and just feel the beautiful life force energy, your life, in the palm of your hand. And feeling into this beautiful invitation to open up your heart in a new way today. And listening from the heart beneath the heart above the heart around the heart loving the heart. So let's take a deep, beautiful breath together. Feeling your expansion, feeling your elevation, feeling your deeper connection with the essence and the truth of who you are in this beautiful divine dance with other loving, extraordinary women from all over the globe, dancing with the divine energy, heart to heart with each other. And just exhaling. And just letting yourself land right here, right now, with your open, loving, receptive heart, listening in a new way. Taking one more beautiful breath together. Just allowing yourself to be here now. Yeah. So Aurora and I are going to just have a dialogue and a discussion and a conversation about what it means to have a new way of dreaming. What is it that is the she way? You know, we're in the age of Aquarius now, full on, and we're really recognizing moment by moment, day by day, situation by situation, experience by experience, the importance of the divine feminine really leading the way, really opening ourselves up to even more of our true nature. Whether you're in a masculine body or a feminine body in this lifetime, it's important to recognize that the energy that will heal in a deeper way and allow each one of us to be even more of our true self is really coming from the divine feminine qualities of compassion and caring, like Aurora mentioned earlier, and having those qualities really precede the activities that we're engaged in. When we show up as compassion in any conversation or interaction, the energy that is invited into that space actually creates and co-creates a new experience. And so as we're paying even closer and closer attention to who we are being while we are doing, even being able to identify it, and I don't go anywhere without some journal so that I can catch the good ideas and catch the nuances and catch the ones that really light me up and say, I want more of that. So I invite you to, have a journal with you and listen for the things, the phrases, or the nuances that feel maybe the spark of a newness for you today as we're stepping into this new portal together of divine partnership and a new way of dreaming together. Yeah.
Thank you, Grace. And I just been really touched by the recognition that for us to step into this new way of dreaming, there's a new opportunity for an even deeper experience of healing. Last week, Grace and I had the privilege of co-hosting the first day of a 2-day retreat. And the purpose of the retreat was to really activate and amplify our gifts on day one. And the second day was all about clarifying our vision and activating our purpose on day 2. And as we were moving into the retreat, I was almost brought to my knees by a memory that was so old and so ancient that when it started to bubble up, it really shook me to the core. And for me now, in this time in my journey, as difficult as it is for us to start to lean into the feeling spaces, the memories, the beliefs that are required for us to touch and to welcome and to love and to bring back home, I also have learned that the way forward is to move through and to actually accept all that was coming my way. And in the experience of feeling this wounding, I guess, that was coming up, that was coming back, the wholeness that felt so old, the quality that started to come through me as woman was the remembrance of a deep gentleness, that kind of soothing balm that can only be shared from a place of vulnerability. And I'm sharing this because I know, as women in the world right now, as we're holding ourselves, as we're supporting our families, as we're shedding the light into our communities and contributing in new ways, in addition to that holding of space in that visioning of new dreaming, we're also being invited to be willing to go into even more of those subtle spaces of healing, because as I do it here, you do it there, and the ripples start to come through. So I really want to presence and acknowledge each of your stories and each of your paths and each of your contributions in this moment, knowing that all of it is creating the fertile soil for us to leap through and into a new vision. And so acknowledging this place and space within your heart, within your body, within your families, and just allowing that to be welcomed also into this space today, as we start to welcome in a deeper level of healing and acknowledgement of who we are. The final piece before I pass on to beautiful Grace is the word that kept coming through for me was reclamation. It's not a word that I normally would use. So witnessing the reclaiming of these qualities, these capacities that have been part of woman for eons of time, that are now needed in all spaces, in all areas of leadership, that we're moving from a place of love and care in all of our actions and all of our contributions, as opposed to fear and force. And when we come together in this, you know, one of the things that's important for Grace and I is creating the containers for us to come together in this safety, to explore, strengthen, and then go back out into the world in our own action and contribution. So just saying a huge thank you for your courage and for your love.
Thank you, Aurora. And I love that you brought in the experience from last week, because, you know, we're all on a journey of deep healing, and healing just meaning wholeness. And we, you know, I think the old way has been that if we felt like we need to heal something, it's because we thought it was broken. And the new way is to know that it just is something that's asking for greater love. You know, there's in A Course in Miracles, it says everything is either a representation of love or a cry for love, but it's all love, right? So one of my mentors, Mary Morrissey, would say, you know, we're the umpire of our own life. We're the ones that label it good or bad. And so if we now, in this new way of dreaming, say it's all good, because the good just means there's an invitation for us to recognize the preciousness and the blessing in it all. You know, and Einstein would say, we either believe that nothing is a miracle, and I substitute miracle with blessing. So we either believe nothing is a blessing, or we believe everything is a blessing. And if we believe that everything is a blessing, then really our only work is to look for the blessing, is to excavate in that energy of our heart, our knowing heart, and say, what is the blessing here? It, you know, on the outside world, it might look like a tragedy or a loss or a disease or you know, a financial situation. But if we truly believe that everything is a blessing, then to continue to go deeper. And this is, women are really, really good at this. And it is the divine feminine energy that has the the willingness to excavate a deeper knowing. And so what is the blessing here? And it's going to go layers and layers and layers deep. And we're going to go into this in some of the programs that Aurora and I are now co-creating to really serve and support the women and the divine feminine leadership that is really stepping into a newness in a new way. And it's so essential now. So I know that all of you are powerful leaders in your own communities and in your own work, in your own right. How we come together in co-creation can only expand our ability to really serve and support whatever it is that our unique qualities and our unique work in the world has come to really make a difference and to create the solutions for humanity. So thank you again from our hearts to yours for saying yes and being here and being vulnerable and being willing and being open and being available. It's so important.
Thank you, Grace. So we believe that it is the aspects of the feminine intelligence coming back into wholeness within ourselves and then being able to be expressed and embodied into the world that is going to really create the new solutions that are needed now as we're starting to experience or have been experiencing this breakdown, and so that we can actually break through. And so we're just going to open it because we'd love to hear your voices. We'd love to open to start to feel into why is feminine intelligence needed right now? And what is feminine intelligence anyway? Knowing that it is a natural aspect of us as women, but it's enlivening in the men as well. So just opening it up the floor to see, and if you're not wanting to speak, you can just type into the chat. I'm just going to share the why is feminine intelligence needed right now? And just if you're wanting, just put your hand up, and then Angel will just I'll call out, and Angel will let you come through to speak, or you can unmute yourself. So why is it important? What's bubbling up for you around the importance of feminine intelligence? Okay.
What comes up for me, Aurora, is the realigning the balance between, doing and being, and, modeling receptivity, modeling flow, modeling allowing rather than pushing and striving. I personally see and have felt a lot of burnout, particularly in the last few months, and I feel like it's time to slow down.
Beautiful.
To slow down, to receive.
Who can relate with what Kay's saying? Thank you, Kay.
Thank you.
And Riley.
Yes. So I think also part of the feminine intelligence is that intuition, that connected to that spiritual knowing that we all are connected, that science, I love science. Grace knows I love science, but that science has pulled us away from so long that intuition couldn't have been proven, and now it's even showing in science that intuition is happening in the brain with mirror neurons, and that connectivity, that love, that women's intelligence is quite strong and prevalent and important, and society needs that because it brings us in tune with everyone on such a beautiful, wonderful scale, and we recognize that we're all connected, and that motherly love, that feminine love.
Beautiful. And imagine if our governments, our corporations, any organization was actually coming from that place first. And how beautiful is it when we do move from that place of intuition? Grace and I often talk about supporting our leaders to lead from the emerging future. How do we do that? And intuition is a place that we can play to really start to navigate this place of the unknown. And how many times have we been in that situation, Grace, and all of the women here, where perhaps our mind or our knowing from that place, our intellect is actually saying turn right. And yet when we drop into our heart and our deeper knowing, Riley, into our intuition, we know that we need to turn left. And so these are all capacities of feminine intelligence that are needed more than ever. And to somehow start to make them normalized, because this is the new way. Grace, did you want to say anything else on that?
Yeah, and I love that you brought in the intuition, and thank you, and also to realize that it's about trust. It's about trust, trusting ourselves, trusting our knowing heart, trusting, and trust for me is to truly rely upon sacred truth. It's our truth trying to speak to us and through us for us. And when we deeply and profoundly trust it, there's no doubt, there's no distraction, there's no DEFCON 4 that happens when we don't trust. So, being in that space and modeling, Kay, I love that you brought in the modeling, because I think that, being shown by example gives everyone an opportunity to really energetically feel into what that feels like, to see the modeling of someone living a whole spectrum life, a whole being existence. And so I think it's such a beautiful opportunity for all of us to really pay such close attention.
Beautiful. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak into the why feminine intelligence is important, as we're starting to name some of the qualities as well? Michaela? Hello, sweetheart.
Hello. I think what comes for me in recent and this lifetime is my awareness of submissiveness and in me, rather than trust, and softness and vulnerability. So I think sometimes I can see that submissiveness is quite a habit or a go-to, rather than trust, the intuition and the knowledge and the wisdom that wants to come forth. So the submissiveness kind of represses this, and how to move from that habit and that pattern. And I see women that can just stand in what they know and feel really firm and strong and true about, and don't back down. And I really admire that.
It's beautiful to welcome in your tenderness, Michaela, and the importance of what you're modelling in this moment, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you for all that you are also holding. So in this place of being yourself, we just welcome you here with open heart. And if there was something that you would love, love, love in this moment, what would that be?
Is to be comfortable, to be vulnerable, and to be seen vulnerable, to get more familiar with that.
Thank you.
And I do experience it right now. Thank you.
So really just welcoming in that place of vulnerability in all of our hearts as we take a beautiful deep breath in together with Michaela now. Knowing that as each woman speaks, she speaks for each of us. Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you.
And Mel, would you like to speak? Your mic is off.
Oh, look, I'd love to, but I just don't have anything to offer at this minute. if something comes, I'll put my hand up though. Thank you.
Okay. Well, and I see Ren has her hand up. Ren, would you like to unmic yourself?
Yes, thank you. Morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, first of all.
Morning.
Hi, Aurora.
Good morning. Are you able to come on video, gorgeous?
Yes, I don't know how I'm not on video. I don't have the option on the left. I can only see mute and unmute. I'm not sure. I share what I think and maybe what I'll try. I will leave and I'll try to come back. So you see my beautiful face. Otherwise you miss out. Just joking. So for me, is also, I like what everyone else shared, and I very much share the same vision as well. But on top of that, is also about coming together as community and healing together. And this is something, yes, that's something, you know, we can do as women, but also men. As you said, Aurora, also men have, you know, the feminine energy within them. So yeah.
Thank you, beautiful Ren.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering if we could move into the she. And Grace, would you like just to share a little bit about what we mean when we're speaking about the she? I'm sure that the women are already feeling her as we move into the next sort of question for conversation.
Sure. Well, and you know, so much of the she has been represented here and modeled here and experienced in her vulnerability, her compassion, her ability to show up in her radiance and in her even elegant power. You know, there's a softness to her, but there's also a real confidence in the knowing of who she is. And it is a way for us to truly honor the aspects of ourself that feel feminine, that feel, you know, the feminine energy is really an openness. There's an openness, and one of my favorite statements was that we women are actually built to receive. So we have an openness. You know, our bodies have that opening, and our hearts are even open in that way. And so there is a willingness in the she to listen to all aspects of what is being presented. There's not a closed door. There's not a rightness. There is this energy of welcoming, which is really powerful. And so, you know, even as we start defining and describing different aspects of the she, pay attention to which ones really resonate for you, which ones really feel like, ooh, you know, in this situation, I haven't been as receptive. You know, even being receptive to new ideas, receptive to new ways of doing things. And this 2222 portal that we're in right now is really an invitation to a she way, which is an opening for receptivity, receiving and reawakening an aspect of ourself that we might have been closed off. And so just listening for the different qualities, because she's really powerful and she's really strong. And if you think about some of the amazing, powerful, divine feminine masters that have really paved the way for all of us, you know, Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and Isis and Hathor and all of the incredible, really powerful feminine masters, they've had energy that has given way for each one of us to recognize those aspects in ourselves that are reawakening at this time.
Beautiful. And one of the things that I love about the she is that she deeply listens and she can hear beyond her listening ears, you know, those insights that kind of come through. So we're just going to open the space now. How does this aspect of she that Grace so beautifully presents, that each of you are already presencing in your modeling and your shares and what you're bringing into the space, how does she inspire us to dream in a new way? First of all, recognizing that we do need a new way. Do we all agree with that? That whatever we're doing is kind of not working. And so how do these qualities of she start to inspire us to start to lean into something new? It might come through as a feeling or a symbol or a picture. Let's start to collate this together. Just pop that into the chat as well. How does she inspire us to dream in a new way? Ren, beautiful to see your face. And just calling out to Connie, I think if you switch on your video, my love, you can join us now. I don't know what was happening in the invitation of having you both arrive in the room. So who'd like to share? How does this aspect of she inspire us to dream in a new way? Go for it, Mel. You need to unmute. I'll unmute you, darling. There you go. Could you just press the unmute button? Do you know where that is? Yes.
Something that came to me was just, first of all, just letting go, like letting go of whatever, the old idea, the mind, just so letting go so you can allow. That just came to me. Just thought I'd share.
That is so amazing. And how many places and spaces are we taught how to let go? Did we learn at school? Did our mothers teach us? I don't know. Did they?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I think about it, a lot of it's been around about holding on.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, so this place of almost just like what happens is we start to open. And for me, it's kind of starting to lean back a little bit. You know? And what if letting go was the first step? Letting go of the concepts, the beliefs, the ideas, the ways of being.
Yeah.
So that something new, like almost like that blank canvas, can start to bubble up.
Exactly.
Is there anything else you would like to say about that, Mel?
Also, just even in your own physical life, you know, just letting go of stuff, clutter, just creating that blank canvas in your physical world as well as your spiritual, emotional, mental world. So anyway,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great. And my husband and I were in the garage for 2 days over the last weekend doing that. How many else? I know a lot of friends who are clearing more clutter at the moment.
Yeah.
Clearing, cleaning. So there's something in us that knows that we're preparing the new.
Yeah.
You know,
Letting it go.
So letting that go for the new to start to bubble through, and often just knowing just the next step. You know, we don't have the plan of the 20 steps of the new yet. And are we okay to let go and then just go, okay, what's next? One step.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mel. It's so gorgeous to see you here in this space.
Thank you, Mel. And I just want to say, you know, I love that you brought letting go into the space. And I also think that another aspect of the letting go process, if this is the first step, is letting go of our old stories. Our old ways of thinking of who we are and what we're capable of or what we're not capable of or what happened to us or what, you know, all of that. I think the letting go is possibly going to be a show unto itself. So thank you for bringing that in, because I think it's so vitally important. We have to clean out our closets in order to let new clothing come back, you know, come in to the space. We have to let go of our clutter, let go of our old stories. And yeah, so, and Riley, I know you have something also to share.
I do. I was going to say as well, as when I thought about the she, anything is possible. If she's listening we're listening on such a deep level that anything is possible. And there is that co-creating gestation that the she energy gives, that we, you know, we birth as well. And so anything is possible in this process of new dreams.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes. For us to really let the she inspire us with birthing something new. I love it. Thank you.
And there's other she's who've been in the waiting room who have actually come through now. So I'm feeling you could probably switch on your videos if you'd like. We don't normally host on in a webinar room, which have had you sitting in your webinar somewhere who come in a little bit later. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Layla, you've got your hand up, darling.
Hi. I think to echo Mel, and in terms of the letting go as well, and being in the feminine and that flow, like I keep imagining that river, you know, we're not grabbing onto the rocks as we're flowing down. And in the body too, it's as a female, the regeneration. We naturally move with cycles, and something that I know we're just starting to come back to now and really look at that. And just moving through those cycles, moving through our connection with the earth too, is something that we just naturally have and do. So that regeneration as well, as that connectedness of the flow and that letting go with courage and vulnerability, as you know, Michaela's mentioned. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much.
And welcome, dear Connie. We've got you on video, my darling.
Yes, success.
So women have been sitting in the panelist room. So we've got Ren's face on, and yeah, beautiful to see.
I think
All
the
right.
quality was persistence and trust, Connie. I know you're the trust frequency. So you trusted you were going to be here in this space with us. And I'm so glad that you were determined and persistent. And we're so glad you're here.
And you know what's just really dropping in as well around that is our willingness to be visible. I know as women, we hold this deep, deep longing to be seen, to really be seen and to be able to be heard. And now we're being invited to an even new level of visibility, a new level of coming forward. And I know for many of us, a lot of old ways, a lot of old memories and healing is continuing to be required to happen in our fields for all of the times that our ancestors stepped up and it didn't go well. You know, all of the times we did step into visibility and it didn't really end up the way that we would have liked it. And hence, even more importantly, why it is to come together and bring our voices and our hearts and to be standing with each other, behind each other, in front of each other, around each other, so that we can actually move forward. So just opening again, how does this aspect of she inspire us to dream in a new way, and what's starting to drop in around that?
I'm happy to share and if it's
Sure,
okay.
Ren. Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Thank again, I resonate with what has been shared before. Thank you. The way the new wave to dream, the dreaming of a new way is also about letting go of control and what I like to call it free falling. That's how I will describe my how I live it basically. But also working through, in general, our traumas and things that have been weighing us down, and really, go, with our creativity and trusting. Someone mentioned the trust before because I was taking notes. Sorry. Actually, anyway, yeah, I think it was you, Grace, that you mentioned trusting ourselves and our intuition. But also, the more I've done work on myself, the more I'm able to trust that, because I've reclaimed a lot of things from, self-esteem and many other things. And now I feel like I'm this free vessel and I can, trust and create things and going with the flow. But before, it was just not possible. There was a lot of control in my mind that would stop me, prevent me from doing. So really let go of control and free fall. Yeah, and I love what you said before, Aurora, the willingness to be visible. I really resonate with that as well. So thank you.
Thank you, beautiful Ren. I'd love Kay and Connie just to share their voices as we have other women starting to arrive for the next event for We the World and the Martin Luther King series. So Kay and Connie, would you like to share? Would you like to go, Kay, first?
Sure. Thank you, Aurora. I'm just reflecting on the threads of what everybody's brought here just in this discussion, and you know, that aspect of she inspiring us to dream in a new way. The word that comes up for me is surrender and trusting the body's wisdom. And I've had an experience of that in the last 3 days where I connected with the ocean and asked for anything that was no longer serving to be removed, particularly from my womb space. And I went through menopause about 4 years ago, burnt myself out, and I've been bleeding for the last few days. And I know that there's nothing abnormal about that. I'm just birthing the new by letting go of the old. So yeah, really coming back to, and it sort of ties in with what you said, Aurora, about intuition earlier, is that whole, you know, thinking I have to do this, but trusting that I actually need to go in a different direction. So I'm really leaning into that and listening more to my body in the last few days.
How wise are our bodies? Amazing. Thank you, Kay.
Thank you.
And dear Connie, welcome, darling.
Well, I'll just say quickly, because I know there's 4 minutes left, I guess, that I probably have a few years on all you folks, like a few decades, a couple of decades. I'm 75, and I just want to say to you to trust that everything you've ever done and ever will do is serving what you came here to be. So just trust that and know that it's all evolving, and everyone you meet, everything you do is serving what you came here to be.
Thank you, Connie. We just love that you're here, and thank you for sharing that beautiful, your wisdom. Connie has a whole movement called the Trust Frequency and a book, and just, you know, she just embodies the element of trust. And we're so grateful for your wisdom and for you being here with us today. And I just want to say, I know that we're running really down to the wire for our minutes. And Aurora and I are so honored to present on We the World, on the women's platform, a monthly gathering like this called Sacred Conversations. And this next month, March, as we march forward together, March 1st and 2nd, depending on what hemisphere you're on, we'll be presenting a sacred conversation, very similar in the platform and the context of today. There's a little more interaction and we have a little more time. It's a 90-minute opportunity. So we do some breakout rooms and some really deep healing happens. And our theme for next month is healing with love. So it's going to be another beautiful deep dive, another beautiful opportunity for you to connect not only to your own heart, but to the hearts of all the other women that are on this journey with you and for you and about you and around you and as you. And it really is such an extraordinary opportunity to come together, as Aurora likes to say, in good company. And in good company is all of us joining genius and joining hearts together to really have a deeper opportunity for a deeper healing and a deeper wholeness, because the world needs all of us right now in our wholeness and in our magnificence. Yeah. So Aurora, any final words?
Yeah, I'm just going to pop in a place where the women in the chat can actually write to us if you want to stay connected. There's a little contact page in the website where you can we'll have some new ways of staying connected. Grace and I are co-creating at the moment so we can continue women. Our deepest desire is to have a safe place, a place that's also of empowerment for women who are in their leadership and who are really stretching to come together. And so we are building a global group of women, a movement, and we'll be sharing more about that as well. So as we're moving to close, we didn't get a chance to hear all of your voices, and in our sacred conversations, it is a sacred circle where everybody gets to share. So do come along if you're feeling called. Sacred Conversations, which is monthly, which is again a heart offering, is really more about the personal transformation as women that we are going through. And She Leads the Way is more about us as women in our leadership. So I'd love you just to pop a word that you're feeling as we're moving towards the close of the call, just how you're feeling in this moment. In fact, we might get each of you to share your voices as we close it with that. And also, I would love if you could just write in the chat, what was the greatest takeaway? What was the thing that actually felt most ignited in you today? Again, it might be your word. So as we're moving towards the close, I'm just going to invite you just to share your name and one word in terms of how you're feeling. So Aurora, I feel satisfied and fulfilled. So each of you can just popcorn in as we go to close.
Michaela, feeling connected.
And Janet
Pleasance.
Grace,
Oh.
and I'm feeling deep love.
And Pleasance, feeling at ease.
Mm.
Feeling grateful.
Connie, feeling expanded from all of you.
Mm.
Feeling encouraged that there are so many women that are willing to step up and into their truth and our truth together.
Vicky in Chicago, feeling blessed and honored to have all you awesome women and your knowledge that you bring to the table. Many blessings to all of you.
Mm.
Layla, and feeling inspired.
Ren, and I'm feeling excited to having connected with so many beautiful women.
Is that everyone? So we thank you, we honour you. I'm just going to play us out with a beautiful song. And blessings to your day. Really encouraging and inspiring each of you to really continue to capture the whispers of whatever is occurring in your healing, in your empowerment, and knowing that together we can actually change the world. And one step at a time, one conversation at a time. I'm just going to play us a song. Grace, is there anything you'd like to say, darling?
I just want to, Ren was asking how she can join the Sacred Conversation in March. We will post an event on Facebook if that's how you found us this time. It'll also be on the We the World platform as our monthly offering. So, and if you go on to the link that Aurora put in here, if you'd like to add your name to the shespeaks.live website, then you can be sure to get an invitation via email.
Beautiful, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And you can reach out to me, beautiful Ren. All right, I'm going to play us out with the song. Have a beautiful day, beautiful evening to all of you.
Much love. Much love.
Here we go. That was the wrong song. We can stop the live now. Thank you to all of those who were watching in the web page, sending our love.
Much love to all.